Hey everyone, welcome. I am Melanie McGray and we are here today to talk about knee pain. And this is just a short little tutorial to maybe give you a couple tools that you can use if you happen to be experiencing some pain in the knee. And for me, I'm talking about clicking or popping, snapping, or any kind of patellar pain that you might feel when you're working out, when you're running, when you're biking. If you kind of have this sort of like little bit of shooting pain going up through the knee, or you're walking and it's all of a sudden that sort of sensation happens on the front of the kneecap, above or under, then sometimes that is just what's going on is the alignment is not great. And so something is happening in there where you're having to rely on other things, it's pulling it in a wrong alignment, or maybe we have some sort of loss of cartilage, or maybe there's a ligament that has had some injury. Whatever the case may be, that popping and clicking can be really annoying when you're trying to work out or do something, and we sort of just deal with it. And I have two things that I want to give you that may help you when you're doing something. So this is to be done before you start doing a workout. And you can also stop in the middle of something and do a couple of these and then go back to it and kind of experiment if it helps out or not. So the first thing we're going to use is a roller. This is a travel roller. It's a mini little teeny roller. You can use any roller you have, and you're going to roll out your quadriceps. If the quads are tight, they're going to pull on the knee in funky ways. And so if we can open up and loosen up some of these quads, then that's going to be a really great thing. So we're going to go onto our belly, sort of our front. And I want you just to go ahead and put one leg. If you have a big roller, then you can put both. But we're going to start with one. And I'm going to come down onto my forearms. I'm going to bend the other knee up underneath me. And I'm just going to try to roll from the very top of the kneecap all the way up to my hip. And I'm going to go back and forth. I'm using my arms for support. If you have both legs on a big roller, a lot more core work. Just make sure your core stays lifted so you don't crunch in the lower back. And just make sure also that you're using a good shoulder stance. So shoulder blades are apart, you're not kind of squeezing. You're working the whole body in this. But what we really want to do, my mat's coming with me, is try and get some relief in that quad. So I've come up onto my arms, which is also fine. I have a little more weight I can put in there with this little mini roller. And back and forth. Okay, and then you just do the other side. So you can spend more time on it if you need, which is fine. But for our purposes right now, we're just going to go back and forth a few times, about 8 to 10 times, all the way down and up. And also experimenting a little, whether you're one-legged or both legs on a big roller, you can turn the leg bones in slightly or turn them out slightly, and that will give you a little different sensation. A little more inner quad, inner thigh, a little more outer quad IT band work there. All right, so we're going to do that. Ooh, even that just feels a lot better. So you can do a little quad rolling. And then the other thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at a little manual work on your knee. And what I mean by manual is that you're using your hands to do some of the work, some self-massage. So we're going to take our hands and we're going to use kind of like a little bit of a claw grip. Thumb on one side, a couple fingers on the other, and we're going to press in on the inside of the knee and just kind of roll around. I'm making small little circles right on the part where I feel like my quadriceps sort of bulges out. If I were to make like a really strong quad muscle, there's a little bulge right there, and that's kind of like where I'm going for. But I'm not contracting the muscle as I'm doing this. So I'm going to give that a little bit of a rub, and then on the other side of the knee, I'm going to give that a rub too. So simultaneously, I kind of have this motion going on around the knee joint. And you may need 2 hands, you can use 2, but you're sort of massaging all the way around the joint. Well, you're massaging around the top part of the knee joint, okay? It's kind of where the quad goes. So the idea here is that if we can get some looseness, some freedom, then you'll be able to feel this really nice glide action that needs to happen in your quadricep in order to give your knee some relief so it's not being pulled very taut. All right, now we're going to, okay, so we have a little bit of that, just a few seconds of that, a few minutes of that. Then you're going to stretch your leg long. And you're going to feel a really good squeeze, so more squeeze than you think. And you're going to go ahead and bend your knee while you squeeze. I'm going to use 2 hands actually. And then I'm going to straighten my leg and keep that squeeze. So I'm right on the outside and the outside of the kneecap, top outside of the kneecap, pushing in there. I'm going to bend again and I'm going to press. So I'm in muscle, I'm not pushing a bone. I'm in the muscle, I'm going to bend and I'm going to press, okay? So this might be easier on carpet or a wood floor. So I'm really squeezing those 2 points as I stretch and as I bend. And there's another variation you can do also, which I'll show you. I'm just going to use the roller for a pillow. You can use anything. And I'm going to do that same thing. So I'm going to work on the outside of the knee joint. I'm going to keep this leg bent. And I'm going to go ahead and stretch it towards the ceiling, squeezing the inside of the knee. And then I'm going to bend it down. And I'm going to press, I'm going to squeeze the outside and the inside and straighten. And I'm going to squeeze it as I bend. And in between each bend, you can kind of give it a little more work. And extend and bend. And sometimes my knees get very, well, one knee in particular, gets very crunchy. And if I can do that and extend and bend without the crunchy sound or without the clicking and the snapping sound, then you're definitely on the right track. Or if it's much less, then you're on the right track as well. So again, you're doing a little active release work. You're trying to get this muscle to soften up and not pull so hard or in a funky direction in order to keep the knee in alignment. And then once you let go and you bend and you straighten, it should feel quite good. It should feel like you have a little bit more range of motion, and you could do it on both knees. And maybe you need even more pressure, so play a little bit with it and let me know how it goes. I hope those knees feel healthy and quiet.